Frank Yosa here, broker of Frankly Real Estate, blog.franklyrealty.com. So I've got about 200 blog posts out there, and I do tell people to go check out the blog, but then they can get buried in so much stuff that I wanted to highlight just the best blog posts. That some of them took me 4 hours to write. You shouldn't miss out on the other ones, but these are some of the better ones. So the first one, and there's a link on blog.franklyrealty.com that links to all of these. Exclusive buyer agency agreements, it says don't sign them yet. You really need to understand what an exclusive buyer agency agreement is, and not only why it helps the agent, you don't care about that, you care about why it helps the client. And to get, the punchline is, if an agent knows that you're just going to be working with them, they're less likely to throw you under a bus, they're more likely to fight for a deal, as opposed to if you don't have an agreement, they're going to be scared they're going to walk off and buy some for sale by owner deal tomorrow, and how likely are they going to be to tell you, no, you shouldn't buy this house, let's wait for the next one. They're not. So really understand the psyche of the agent. This blog post is different than any other blog post on exclusive buyer agency agreements, because the other ones talk about how it saves the agent, and this talks more about how it helps the client get a better price on a home by having an agent that's really going to go to bat for them. The second one is Go FSBO, save $20,000, Realtor Tells All. This talks about how I used to help for sale by owners get on the MLS in 10 years ago, and the common mistakes that the for sale by owners had. This blog post has been shared across the nation. It actually gives actual hurdles of each step of the way, such as the buyer agents see that you're doing a for sale by owner on the MLS, and flat fee listing, and they immediately knock off 3% because they know that in your mind you're saving 3%. So it goes through each one of those steps, talking about net. What is most important is your net, and this is the clearest. Even other competing agents, even in the DC area, will link to this because it explains everything of why it doesn't help you net more money by doing for sale by owner, even though it's really sexy to say, oh, I saved $20,000. But then you got a $30,000 lower price. That your net is really what matters. Next one, the Frankly CRA, a comparative realtor analysis, how to do a background check on an agent to see their transactions, actual deals done. And this can go back 1 year, 5 years, 10 years to see if all their deals are in Prince William County or in Fairfax or Montgomery County, what price points, percentage of list, the number of photos that they use, what do the listings look like. No other site shows you the background of the individual agents. Let's see what else we got. Realtor commissions, the great hush hush. This blog post talks about, and it was actually, people have talked about it in their ethics classes, whether it was ethical for Frank to write this blog post on commissions, because you're not supposed to talk about commissions. This talks about why is there such secrecy around commissions, and it exposes that. The next one, agent tricks, called, for example, buying a listing, which is a very common trick where an agent will, a customer might be interviewing 3 agents, and what they do is they go with the agent that tells them the highest price. My mother did this, and this before I got into real estate. My mother would always hire the agent that told them the highest price. What happens in the end is that she would overprice the price. She'd have to do price drops, get low balls, and she'd net less in the end. So this talks about how scrupulous agents will feed you some BS at the beginning sometimes to talk you into, or making you think, yeah, I can get you that price, $850,000, knowing that it's only going to be worth $820, but they'll figure, oh, the client will just drop their price later, but ultimately net less. It's called buying a listing. You shouldn't hire an agent based on their price. We even prefer not giving a price on a listing presentation. Why? Because it takes 15 minutes to come up with a random price point or a range. I don't believe in ranges because people ignore the bottom, take the top. And the 15 minutes isn't the amount of time that should take to figure out pricing. It should be a multi-hour going into other properties, looking at other things that have sold, ratios to past years, just tons of stuff go into it. So you should pick the price together with the client after you're hired and after you've done a bunch of hours looking at it. Attention market timers, the exact day to buy. This talks about my philosophy on market timing. Should I sell in December? Should I sell in January? Well, spring's supposed to be better. Talking about how I don't believe in market timing. In spring, yeah, there tends to be more activity, but then there's more houses, more competition. I sold my mother's house in December after doing a massive analysis. We sold for full list, only 3 visitors, but we sold it for full list at an aggressively high price that 2 years later in an up market, they still weren't able to, they resold the house and weren't able to get the same price. The next one, throw up listings, talks about staging, doing it right versus right now. Sellers love the idea of, well, I just signed the listing agreement, can we have it up tomorrow just because I need to sell my house fast. The fastest way to sell your house is to do it right. Do it slowly, do the right steps, and have all of your marketing efforts go into the first weekend as opposed to just a throw up listing. Sign a piece of paper, take a couple shots, and the next day it's on the MLS. It doesn't work. It takes a lot more to sell a house properly. On the buying side, this blog post is called Round Robin Buying System, where you unearth the desperate seller. It talks about how it's more ideal to have 2 homes that you're willing to buy. I recently had a client who loved one house and he wanted to put an offer in, and I said, wait, let me find you something else. And I found him another house that he's interested in. So now he has 2. So he was going to start at a price point of $800K. Now that he has something else that he doesn't mind, he can actually start 10, 20 grand lower. And if that doesn't work out, he can offer on the other place and go back and forth to see who's most desperate. That right there can save you $10, $20, $50,000 if you have options as a buyer, and how to go one by one. You can't submit multiple offers. One by one, trying to find out which seller is the most desperate. The next one, realtor rebates, free money or expensive savings. You think you're saving money. I started off rebating right when I first got out of the gate, and now my quote is, I used to rebate, but then I got good at saving clients more money, their net. So that blog post is all about my opinion on realtor rebates. Can't miss that one. The next blog post, don't buy. Is it a marketing ploy? And an agent saying, oh, I'm on to you, if this is a marketing ploy. It explains what I mean by don't buy for the wrong reasons. And it explains all the brainwashing in the real estate world of you have to buy, you're throwing money out the window, renting, all that stuff. And the second to last one is MLS data fudging, how realtors can fudge the MLS by relisting homes. And you might think that an agent says that they are get 99% of list price, but then you look at their data, they systematically relist the property every 30 days with a price drop to pretend to make their numbers high. I saw one agent actually advertise 99% of list price, but her actual, she actually gets 96, 97% of list price, but by fudging the MLS, this shows you how to watch out for that. And the last one, owner's title insurance, has the most comments, the most views, because people don't understand it. 90% of people, 95% of people buy it, only 10% understand what it is. I was talking to a Wall Street Journal reporter who actually just ended up buying a house. I said, did you know that owner's title insurance is optional? He's like, no, I didn't know that. Now, you're probably going to get it, but at least know that it's optional. Know what you're getting. And it details examples of a CEO of a title insurance company that didn't buy title insurance, yet he told me, oh, but your client should buy it because it'll safeguard them. What? You didn't need safeguarding yourself? And whether or not you're more likely to be struck by lightning than need title insurance. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying not to get title insurance. I'm saying for you to better understand what it is. So those are, I think, 12 or something. I lost track. Best blog posts, and hopefully you will start reading those, and then it'll seep into the other 200. And I've gotten people saying, I just blew 2 hours of my lunch watching like 50 of your videos. So hopefully you'll get to know how we work as opposed to just regular bullet points. Our services are this. This shows you the psyche and mind frame of how we work. So again, blog.franklyrealty.com. You can always email me directly. I don't publish my email address except for videos because I don't like spam. Frank@frankly.com. Thanks.